Hello Barmy Badger Army. Tonight we're going to be doing a board game review and we're going to be doing Let's Dig for Treasure. I don't know if we've ever talked about this game on the channel, but it's one of my favourite card games. It is by Dynamite Games and it is drawn and partly created by Stephen Rhodes. Now this is a card game for ages 12 and up and 2 to 5 players. But personally, you can play it with more than 5. You just need more dig stacks, and that will come apparent later on. Now, can you dig for treasure? Can you dig up treasure and outscore your opponent? Featuring the clever and beautiful art by fan favourite Stephen Rhodes, Let's Dig for Treasure is a fortune and glory push-your-luck experience for the whole family. Just shuffle, divide the deck into 3 dig stacks, and you're ready to start digging. What zany artefacts will you unearth? And what finds will you find? What cards are worth more points? And what triggers powerful effects? Let's dig for treasure. Now this is 12 up initially. There is probably one card in there that I would say makes it a 12 up. So you can remove that card in theory and use less cards if you want it to be a bit more kid friendly. As it does involve some drug references. So please bear that in mind. You can remove those cards and you'd still be able to play the game quite nicely. The idea is that you have a few cards in each stack. So there you go. That's sort of what it might look like. But it's really a lot easier than that. And you can have all sorts of different stuff like these different cards here. Like Family Heirlooms, Cursed Family Heirloom, Crown of the Lich Lord, Granny's Grumpo Gingerbread Cookies, and when you score this, there's 3 different type of cards, and it's when scoring at game end, when you score this, and when you dig this up, and general clarification type stuff. And there's lots of different cards here that work in tandem. Now the idea is that you would have a dig stack like this, and then you'd have several on the table like that. I think usually you can do about 4 to 5 dig stacks. I actually like 6 because the idea is that you can expand and do what you want. And the more little stacks you have, the more sort of choice you have as well, which is really good. So the idea is that you pick up one card and then you decide if you want to keep it. And then you can carry on for as many times as you want. But of course there is elements in the game where it will sort of cancel it and stop you from doing it, and then sometimes you can actually lose points as well, which is pretty bad. But it's a very easy game to play and very sort of intuitive to the player, and there's not really that many problems with it. It's very, very easy to figure out and what to do and how to play it. So I do recommend it on that sort of pick up and play aspect. Here's one, it's called Pirate Sword, and then it says, when you score this, choose any player to skip their next turn entirely. So that's quite harsh, isn't it? You've got Wedding Ring, which is worth 10 points. You've got Boatman's Coins, which is worth 5. You've got Cursed Family Heirloom, which is one of my favourite cards to give to somebody else. But depends on if you want that person to win. When you dig this up, you must immediately give it to another player to score. And Squirms the Worm God. When scoring at game end, your Worms cards are worth 5 points each instead of 1. If you get more than 1 Worm card, you have to stop your turn and remove your hand. But if you get 1 and then you stop and then you carry on and you've got this, you do really well because you'll end up with 5 points for every single one. Dirt is probably one of the most common cards. I've got a jar of dirt. That is worth 1 point, but it is one of the most common. Here's the Worms card I talked about. When you dig this up, if this is your second Worm card you've dug up this turn, your turn immediately ends. Discard all cards dug up this turn. So that is quite harsh. But if you think that you end up with more than one of those, you do quite well. The Pirate Hat is quite good as well. When you choose any player, then steal any card from their pile, but that's worth 0 points. I really love the old school artwork. It reminds me of sort of old-fashioned 80s children's books that were on there as well. And you know, I don't know if you remember the sort of books you think I mean, like Ladybird How To and Ladybird Adventures, but they really sort of channel that sort of artwork, and it really reminds me of retro stuff, and it really is quite fun. Lottery ticket, when scoring at game end, if you scored this on the very last turn of the game, it's worth 50 points. So that is a banging one, that one. And Boatman's coins. So if you look, there's plenty of cards in the decks that are worth lots of points, so it is fairly easy to win. Sometimes you can win with like 10 points, and sometimes you can win with, you know, at least 90. It really does depend on if you're playing it quite carefully or not. Sometimes you can be on minus points, which is painful. So, but really good. So that can be a bit of a stinger. But there you go. I'm just trying to look, see if there's any cards I haven't shown you, because there's lots of different choices and lots of different things you can have on here. Right, that's it. Let's have a quick look. There must be some other ones I haven't shown you. It must be. Right, they must be further down the stack. Loyal Dog, which is a really good card. I'm going to bring that to the camera a bit more. When you score this, leave it in front of you. While this card is in front of you, you may move it to your score pile, discard an Evil Skeleton. Now, Evil Skeletons are the hardest, evilest card in the game. They literally really eviscerate you. Evil Skeletons are painful because they literally stop you from winning that well. There's that Curse of the Lich Lord one there. There you go. Let's have a look at that one, guys. Let's have a little look, see if I can find an Evil Skeleton. Can't actually find an Evil Skeleton at the moment. Let's have a quick look. Bear with me. Must be right at the edge. You go. Here we are. Here's an Evil Skeleton. And the Evil Skeleton reads, when you dig this up, your turn immediately ends. Discard all cards dug up this turn. That is evil. And really does stop you winning. It really can. So yeah, this is a really easy to play game. Really fun to do. And there you go. It's really fun. Once again, here's Loyal Dog worth 5 points. And that is the antidote to the Evil Skeleton. Yes, indeed. Right, guys. Well, let me know if you've ever played a card game like this, or if you think you would like to play, because I really recommend Let's Dig for Treasure. One of my favourite card games. Very simple to pick up and play. And like you say, there is only 1 or 2 cards in there that you'd need to remove to make it kid friendly. And you can play it with more than 2 to 5 players. It really does work with about 6 or 7, depending on how many dig stacks you have. So please bear that in mind. It's very playable, and you could play with at least 6 people, I think, if you just change the game slightly. Right, thank you very much for watching, guys. Let me know if you've seen any of these t-shirts in HMV, or if you have any of them. I have the coffee one, which is really good to wear, and there's loads of cool stuff. Right, so let me know if you've got any of Steve's merchandise, and I'll see you next time. Bye!